Hello there. Hi, and welcome to Bingham Built Bikes again. I'm here to show off a tandem, this rig. This bike is built and designed to be both a gravel use tandem, as you see it here, and also to be used as a mountain bike tandem. In gravel form, it has the rigid fork on, and it also has this narrower and lower profile Vittoria Mezcal tire in a 2.1. And when it does go to mountain bike setup, it'll have a Shox Pike 5-inch travel on there and some Barzo 29 by 2.6 tires. So can really do a lot in a single bike. So the drivetrain on the tandems that I build tend to be just as custom and unique as the tandem frame itself. So on this bike, you'll see the timing chain is on the drive side as well. So that's what you see here, and we're utilizing in the Stoker crankset. We're utilizing my custom tandem spider that allows for the mounting of that timing chainring on the drive side. And then up front, to get the ring position where we need it, we're using a wolf tooth camo spider. I believe it's a +4mm offset to get the chain line right on. And it's a cool way to go because you can customize the spindle length in the Raceface cranks and cheat Q factor by, I think it's about 7mm wider on this setup to achieve that nice chain line. So you're not sacrificing very much at all, and you're able to run a very light crankset, both in the Captain and in the Stoker. And then when this bike is swapped over for use as a mountain bike and you really need some tiny gears, we're simply using a Raceface spider and mounting the timing chainring outboard. And again, it all works really slick. And then you can have low mountain bike gearing with very little trouble changing over the whole setup. Here's what that custom tandem spider looks like off the bike. So it has a cinch interface, and it has two different mounting positions. One for the drive chain rings that has the proper machining on the tab for use with the Praxis 32 tooth chainring, and that's a 110 5-bolt design. And then the timing chainring is also a 110 5-bolt, and you can see how it's mounted right there. So really neat setup, and it does truly change the feel of a tandem. The power transfer is just incredible and feels really nice right through the cranks. So this bike currently is set up with a 1142 11-speed Shimano cassette in the back, with the ring combination up front being a 3246, which, yes, we are pushing the limits of what you can do with that XT front derailleur, but it works great. So this tandem is designed for, obviously, 2 riders. The captain is about 5'9", and the Stoker is about 5'5". So really a nice combo. They are average to below average weight riders. So we were able to keep the frame itself very light. As I recall, I think I weighted at about 8.3 pounds, so quite light. So we have a 2¼ inch diameter boom tube, which is just massive, but really adds to the stiffness of the frame set. And since it will be used on gravel and on road as well as on mountain, you really want to feel that stiffness through the drivetrain and the power between the captains and the Stoker. So in the rear, it's a T47 bottom bracket shell, and then the 1-inch mountain bike chainstay. And this frame will clear 29 by 2.4, no problem. Actually, the 2.6 that we're going to mount in mountain bike mode will measure closer to about 2.4. But you could push it up to maybe some 2.5s to work on there as well. But the other option you have on this bike is to run 27.5 by 2.8 as well. It's nice to have that option down the road. The lateral tube is a 1 3/4 inch diameter, single tube running from the head tube all the way back to the Stoker seat tube. And the Stoker's top tube is a 1.5 inch diameter, and then also you can see it running full length to the top tube in front of the captain's seat tube there, and the seat tube is piercing those two tubes. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the seat tube is 1 3/8 here, and then transitions to 1.5 inches where it pierces the lateral tube here, and it's 1.5 inches here. So really stiff, really nice connection. Again, you can feel it in the ride quality of the bike. And then a 2-inch diameter down tube. Again, just keeping everything really stiff, but still these are quite thin tubes, so the frame is able to remain light. And you'll see all of the weld-ons on the frame as well. So we have, I believe it's 7 water bottle placements on this setup, as well as a bento box mount here, which could also be utilized as a water bottle mount if you chose to. And this frame has rack mounts upper and rack mounts lower on the dropouts for possibly some rack use, some touring duty in the future for this bike. So we chose a Shimano Di2 drivetrain for this bike, which is great for tandems because you don't have any extra long cables to have a bit of extra long stretch in them. The derailleurs stay put and don't need any adjusting. So with the XT setup for a 2x, we've got the shifters on the right, shifters on the left, and we also have the Bluetooth enabled display unit here. So the captain will have clear view of battery life and gearing, and you're also able to change from manual to synchro shift 1 or synchro shift 2 mode with that component. We went with the Hope V4 hydraulic disc brakes for this build. 203 millimeter rotor up front, so quite massive, but is very much needed on a tandem that's going to be seeing some high speeds and some big descents here in Colorado. We swapped out the brake lines for the braided stainless steel from Hope. And you'll see that the brake line is routed by zip tie all the way back to the 180 millimeter setup in the rear. And that's the Hope, the V4 caliper front and rear, 4 pistons, really powerful brake, and great for this application. So I'm really excited to get this tandem to its new owners tomorrow and get them out on the roads and seeing what they're capable of doing on a gravel tandem. They're both super athletic, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of adventures they go for on the new bike. So I hope you all enjoyed checking it out, and thanks for watching.